Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to the spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just don't spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, don't spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moroccan, don't spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just don't spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, don't spoon. Yeah, don't spoon. Yeah, don't spoon. You from Bonjama, Reverend to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat it, congratulate my brother to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? It's my body. It's my body.
I did the scalping then. Charges on the people.
To get your information.
Okay, folks, thanks for joining us. It's a great way to be here tonight. Thanks to all of you for joining us on another edition of the program. This is the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics on Spoon. Well, we are live across the Spoon Network, Spoon FM 107.5. We're live on Fabric Radio 101.1 and the several other frequencies across the country. Thanks to all of our partner radio stations for always relaying the show. My name is Nelson Collet. Thanks to the many of our folks joining us across our social media handles, and we ask you to kindly share the program as you join us tonight. It's gonna be a great show. Let's hope we can make the most of the time we have to be here tonight. Let me bring Cindy on. Mr. Jedau Cindy. Cindy, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on tonight. Were you? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I have to. I didn't take notice of that. Cindy, can you hear me? I think you are muted.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
How you doing?
I'm
Good
doing
evening.
well.
Okay.
I'm doing well, and it's good to have you. It's good to have you on tonight.
It's good to be here, brother.
Were you caught unaware?
No, actually, I was not. I was waiting for you.
Oh yeah. So we're grateful to be here and to to bring the show to our people as we always do.
Yes.
Um, and I want to welcome all of the folks joining us. I see John, that's Obadiah Williams is here. Thank you for joining us. Alex Joe joining us as well. Abraham Amara Dunor is here. Nathaniel Cahill. I see Lula's Bull Hart Hodgett is joining us. Andrew Gia is here as well. I see Joseph Colley. I see Eric McGill joining us from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for joining us, Mr. McGill. And a lot of you joining in tonight. Moses Momolu is joining us as well. Let me appreciate all of the folks joining in tonight. Let's hope we can have a great conversation about our country, about Liberia, and where we are, where we stand at the moment, what things are in the country, and get the national conversation moving on. Well, there's a lot happening across the country. We will obviously do our openings, and then we'll get started with the conversation. But there's just a lot. From the weekend up until now, there are different activities. Uh, from the lawsuit. You know, the LDA situation dragged. Cindy, I think you followed closely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the the back and forth at the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency that led to the president suspending principal deputies of the institution. But it didn't stop there because it got to a point where the parties now, Fadiga, Hussein Fadiga, and the boss, the director general of the LDA, Mr. A.B. Krumah, they went into a legal battle. And this is something that's been in the court. It's been some time. And today, the court finally ruled in favor of A.B. Krumah in the 1.5 million USD libel case that was filed against the Fadiga brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And the The Fadiga brothers were found guilty by the civil law court in the country for damaging the reputation of the reputation of Mr. A.B. Krumah, and in extra fines you have 100,000 extra fines that serves as a punishment for the action. And so this is where we are. And he had initially asked for 5 million, but the judge said some of the claims were not fully proven. And so this is how it dropped to where we are. And he's been speaking to the media. He's been giving his own side of it. We're yet to hear from the Fadiga brothers after the court ruling, and that's something we're going to be looking forward to. But this is where we are. On the flip side, the LEC managing director is has been in the news. He made an appearance, and he's been speaking on a lot. Key amongst those things he's been talking about is that uh, the thing about load shedding that's been happening in a country where when one community is on, the next community is off. And then when that community is off, the other community is on. Um, he's saying that by the 30th of June of 2025, load shedding will be a thing of the past, and you the different communities across the country would not have to go through the whole dark experience or bitter experience of being out of electricity for several hours only because another community is on. And so he was saying that once you put money in your meter, you have access to uninterrupted electricity supply across the country. He said that's part of his vision. And he's looking forward to seeing affordable and stable electricity across the country all year round, whether it's rainy season or dry season. And he's saying that he has captured that within his 5 years plan, um, to make sure that people across the country can have access to stable and affordable electricity. But then, why this is going on, Cindy? The former chairman of the CDC is saying that he's saying that the government, based on the way the government is proceeding, they are going to protest,
Mm.
and the protest is called "We the People." So, like we saw in the case of the CDC, which he served as a chairman for, the June 7th Save the State protest. That was the name of the protest. In this case, is his own protest is called "We the People." So, "We the People" protest is something that they're planning, and they say they're going to stage that protest to claim the government's attention on several issues that they've outlined. And why this whole protesting is going on, the plan for their protest, state security have said that in order to protest, everybody should have a permit. I think we discussed that the other day, the whole permit thing. If you don't have a permit, forget about going to protest. But if you want to protest, make sure you go through the process, get a permit. And once you have a permit, then you can go ahead and protest. And so that's something that's still a conversation in the country. Others see it as the state wanting to clamp down on free speech, while others think that this is just the way to go, and this is where we are. Um, so so this is where we are. I think we're gonna go into the conversation. We're gonna get the show started. Hopefully, this will be a very short show. Make the
I
most.
can tell the way you're sounding.
Yeah, make the most of the time we have to be on. But Sandy, welcome to the show. Let me bring our brother on,
Thank you.
Swari, welcome as well. It's good to have you on tonight.
Thank you.
I think we can start the show. Sandy, what's on your mind?
I mean, let's get to it, Nelson. There's a lot of things going on in the country, but I'm here to engage to discuss the country. Uh, I mean, the communication between some of the investors in the country and the president that was discussed today on Spoon, is pretty deep. But I kind of look forward to the discussion tonight.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Um, you want to come in, Swari? What's on your mind?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I want to say hi to my brother, Jalahu SB Cindy, and to all women in Liberia. I think, like you said, there's going to be a very short show because of some level of fatigue that you have had. We understand that there's too many things you guys do, especially for the station, and you have other, assignment that you have to carry on. So I think we can get into the conversation. There's a lot we need to discuss. You talk about the lawsuit that from the civil law code that some ruling was brought down today on. I think it is very good news for our democracies in our country that people should not feel so excited and just wanting to malign somebody's character. And we talk about deterrence all of the time, and that could set for a piece of people being responsible when it comes to certain conversation, not because you have certain disagreement with somebody and you want to come out to malign their character. I think we should be careful as to how we say certain things, because being your character is very essential to human life. So I think that more we need to talk about, and like you said, Nelson, I hope for a great show tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so I want us to listen to this one. Let me put it up quickly, and let's have a listen here. This is a very short one.
Insulted her and said that the court will honor their fee. So what we did was I would simply follow the case, we follow the procedure. Well, the judge said that we did not prove special damages, even though he lost series of contract. But the awarded 1.5 million United States and of course 100,000. That is sufficient.
And I did hear the judge talk about that amount serving as a deterrent.
Yeah, that 100,000, he called it the exemplary damages. He said it will serve as a deterrent. That people go on the radio, it just rubbish, malign people, character, vilify them in so many ways. But the 1.5 million is general damages. It's okay for the psychological injury that he has suffered, the trauma, harassment, humiliation, public jeering. People looking at him and say, "Oh, that's the man here." That is great. So we send out a strong message. This man is a very good man. He's a friend for 44 years, classmate, many years ago. So we have to always defend them.
Now, you being the lawyer, we listen to you. Can we hear from the client?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so Cindy, interestingly, this is Councilor Seema Serena Cephas. This is Councilor Cephas here, and listening to his comment about his client, he's saying his client lost lots of contracts. The damage was huge, psychological effect. Oh, there were lots of terrible things that happened to his client, and given everything his client went through and looking at the ruling from the court, he thinks it's not bad. 1.5 million in general damages and 100,000 in a punishment, serve as deterrence or whatever. No, maybe I gotta play a portion of this one again. I want us to listen to this. Is Councilor Seema Serena Cephas, formerly of the CDC administration. Let's hear the councilor here again.
Everything we asked for, we didn't get. Because a better 1.5 million plus 100,000, I think is sufficient.
Now the public listening, we want to know the entire case.
They ravish, malign, vilify the good character of my client. It came to me, and we filed a complaint with the court. The court sent out a writ of summons and designated a billing to go and serve the writ of summons. They came to the point of even attacking her, insulted her and said that the court will honor their fee. So what we did was I would simply follow the case. We follow the procedure. Well, the judge said that we did not prove special damages, even though he lost series of contracts. But they awarded 1.5 million United States and of course 100,000. That is sufficient.
And I did hear the judge talk about that amount serving as a deterrent.
Yeah, that 100,000, he called it the exemplary damages. He said it will serve as a deterrent. That people go on the radio, it just rubbish, malign people, character, vilify them in so many ways. But the 1.5 million is general damages. It's okay for the psychological injury that he has suffered, the trauma, harassment, humiliation, public jeering,
Harassment, intimidation, public jeering. This is Councilor Seema Serena Cephas. I want us to start the conversation from here, Cindy. You listen to the councilor, the lender councilor. This is also the councilor who is he's one of the lawyers for Madam Emma Metier Glasgow in the 10 million lawsuit against the government of Liberia. Now while he's on the 10 million lawsuit at ECOWAS court, he's winning a 1.5 million lawsuit in Liberia. I mean, let's start the conversation. But he says something very key, Cindy. He says the 100,000 is going to serve as a deterrent for people who just go on radio, malign other people's character, vilify other people, and just say things to damage the reputation of other individuals. Is this a win for free speech, or is this a clampdown, or is it a deterrent, or is it a slap in the face of free speech?
Well, Nelson, free speech has limitation. Your free speech to you, what you consider free speech may not be considered law abiding
Mm-hmm.
and has the propensity to destroy other people. And that's why you have to be careful when you are saying things publicly about other people. I mean, the law is the law. We saw that the Fadika brothers and his name,
Ebi Kroma.
A.B. Kroma, sorry. A.B. Kroma has been fighting for a very long time. They've been having serious disagreement for a very long time. And for the fact that, you know, the case in question, because this came about with the drug case that A.B. Kroma on his watch, this guy called Japan guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know this guy. What his name? His name, some Japan guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Original Japan.
Original Japan. So this case that had to do original Japan was where the Fadika brother were accusing A.B. Kroma of having some connection or some transaction with those guys. So for the fact that the government won the case, set the basis for A.B. Kroma to also win his case. Now proving that no, your accusation against A.B. Kroma is actually false because now the government has won the case. Free speech cannot be free when it's going to affect other people, when it's going to malign other people's character, when it's going to diminish other people, when it can be proven that your so-called free speech has some negative impact on other people. Now, we can argue that the 1.5 million awarded, may be a lot, but Kroman is a professional guy. Kroman has skills. Kroman is a security guy. Who knows what job opportunity were awaiting Kroman? Who know what businesses were awaiting Kroman? Now you went on radio and malign his character in the name of free speech. Kroma would then argue that those that wanted to do business with him refused to do business with him. Those that wanted to hire his professional services refused to hire his professional services because of your accusations against him. So that's why the award came about, right? That's why in the judge's wisdom, awarded Kroma 1.6 altogether, $1.6 million. Will Kroma get that 1.6 million from the Fatika brother? That's another thing we will see. But one thing we also learned today is that the brothers were not even in court. And that's another thing we should all learn. Do not overlook any court order. Any court order. If that was in the United States, those brothers, on no condition, will escape court. And if you are doing so, you have to write the court. But because, and I don't know why they escaped it. I don't know why they didn't turn out. But I want to believe because it's Liberia. Because it's Liberia. But it doesn't matter whether it's Liberia or not. Do not run away from a court proceeding, from a court process. If you are unable to make it to court, write the court ahead of time. Call the court ahead of time and say, look, I'm unable to show up on this date. Can we move it? But to not show up at all without excuse it actually can turn the case against you, even if you are to win the case. Now the judge will find you irresponsible, or perhaps they will find you. It will appear that you are challenging the court authority, that you are overlooking the court authority. So that could be one of the reasons today why AB was awarded this amount, that this ruling was in his favor.
Thanks a lot, Cindy. Mobile, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on. Let me bring this one just before bringing Swari on.
He's even wanted to attack court officer. I thought he has no place in our. This case will serve as a precedent to so many other folks that are out there just going about saying things about people that they cannot prove.
Now that you have tested the law and you won the case today, whether you have worked with them before, so after this case, do you think you should extend olive branch to them despite the ruling?
I don't know about olive branch, but you guys are now being charged and found being a judge for acting this. I don't think they made actually vouch for them in any way to perform.
Yeah, Mr. Kumar, welcome to Spoon TV. So the fellows, the public will say probably because they were both working at the same entity and got dismissed, and at the same suspended and dismissed at the same time. This is the reason for which he pursued this lawsuit against them. How can we reconcile this entire process that you went through?
To be honest with you, the LDA had not much to do with this process. When we went through here, most of these situations, most of the maligning and rebellions and slanders comments were made when I was no longer director of police. Director of the DA. They used my public figure persona as a backdrop, which the judge has the right to do. But I basically, what about dismissal? What about reprimand we got from His Excellency? It has nothing to do with it because I've always subjected myself to the whims and caprices of the power.
Okay, so Swari, you want to come in? You listen to kind of AB Cromine there.
Yes, listen, like I began, and my brother Cindy rightly put it, when we first came on the platform, based on the allegation we're gathering, I stated in that podcast that we should be very careful as to how we come out with analysis on allegation. And people was in anger, people was in gear. People even said on the platform there should be no due process. The both of them should be dismissed and all those stuff and things. And for me, I'm disappointed why the report didn't come up. We understand that they talk about the report having some level of security implication, blah, blah, blah. Why you couldn't come up the portion that didn't have security implication to tell the Liberian people what went wrong? So when we talk about accountability and transparency in government, I think these are places that we should be seeing accountability from. The government cannot have one report and the report is in hidden. The Liberian people are not informed about what went wrong. So at the end of the day, people will always stand by these speculation. If AB was not an individual who wanted to protect his character and take the legal means, then people in Liberia is a gullible society. Like you and myself will agree that if anything is said as being nursing, if nursing do not have that courage to come out to make certain clarification, brother, your character gone. So I listened to his counselor talking about some damage against his professional standing or some of the businesses that he carry on, and even talk about this. Let's just talk about the psychological aspect of it, right? In Liberia, people believe, with the exclusion of this particular case, people believe that AB has some dirty deed. People who have disagreement with him because of a principle when it comes to enforcing law, AB has some dirty deeds, and And that's the liberal. If people see you on certain part, they just want to say things because they want to have certain point. So if AB was one person who did not have that courage to say, oh, I need to take the legal mean with these guys. And we're not just talking about just a typical librarian. Those are folks who've been around giving information. And you talk about somebody who served in the US government and they've been on talk show, they have information. So when they say certain thing, it has weight. So when Cindy was talking about free speech, that's one of the aspects too you should look at. If somebody come out to say you want to get free speech, I think we should look at the circumstances attached to what the person is saying that makes it free speech or not. So they are coming out to spare us some allegation against AB was not just in a town of where AB were governing and they were outside of government. So I want us to look at from the contents of those allegations was grave, and it came out with the president even dismissing them. They both on need to go because of some allegation that we don't know what was in the report. We only saw part of some of the report that are on the mother show, and that was very disingenuous to the Liberian people. So when people come up to say certain thing against you, and they do not have fact because of a fundamental disagreement or administrative misproceeding that they are saying, okay, I want to raise this issue above what we're saying, so the person can be, read up. So I want to come to a certain conclusion. I know their lawyers say they're gonna take some accession, maybe to the they take accession to the ruling. Maybe they have other plan that they will go to the Supreme Court. We don't know yet. But I want to come to some belief. I want to have some belief that what AB said about the guys just want to use that mean to get out of the LDA. I want to believe that. Until otherwise, the father brother can approve, can show previous moving forward some evidence to show that AB is a George Jeter, maybe by going to the Supreme Court. I think AB is a free man of some of the allegations that was said.
Soiree, in the midst of everything we're talking about, Maba, you want to check the private chat? In the midst of everything we're talking about, there is a debate now as to whether this is in line with what free speech is. The concern now is whether this is a win for free speech or this is a slap in the face of free speech. Now, because you know that our country passed the KAK Act declaring free speech a non-criminal offense or decriminalizing free speech. And so this has been the debate. This has been the argument since this thing came up. Now, a lot of people are concerned as to whether this is a win for free speech, whether this is a win or a slap in the face of free speech. Sorry.
So even the very Constitution, I know there's an act that gave us leverage to speak out the way in which we want to speak.
Now, yeah,
but even the Constitution,
let me just say this again. The act, the KAK Act, didn't take away the penalties, or let's say, it didn't take away the responsibility that goes with free speech, but it decriminalized free speech, which means it's no longer a criminal offense.
Yeah, but this case was a civil matter now. So I mean, so basically we want to look at it from that perspective, right? So if you talk about free speech, even our organic law, the supreme law of our country, the Constitution, talk about it being when you say certain thing, it comes with some level of responsibility. So at the end of the day, when I come on this platform to say nothing's like this, nothing is that, I should know that it comes with some level of responsibility. If nothing, we have to take certain means against me, right? By saying, oh, I feel offended about it, or this caused me so and so. There are a lot of free speech, and this should not be only in the case of AB Kroma. There are a lot of things we sometimes come on the media we say against others. It causes them a lot, brother. They go through the psychological means.
Do you see this as something that's gonna take away in any way from the way people fearlessly engage, especially across media, whether social media or the traditional media? Do you think it's going
What
to
I
take
think,
away from that fearless approach?
this ruling would do, it is to make people more responsible as to what they say on the media and what they say against other people's character. Look, to build a character, it takes a lot. You can't just wake up one morning and just look at nothing and say nothing. Usually in the habit of going to one politician that I know, and because you have certain fundamental disagreement on how Nessie speak or how Nessie rather present himself or how he was shared out there. Right? There are people think funny about people all sort of way because they have certain disagreement on you. So they want to
Yeah.
say something to tarnish that repetition because they have certain disagreement on you. So this will bring the level of responsibility to each and every Liberian. The way you present yourself, the way you say things out there, it comes with some level of consequence.
Thank you. Thank you, Swari. Mobile 1.5 million is in dollars. Is in dollars. It's not in CFA, not in Guinea franc. Not in the Australian or Liberian dollars that me or George using in Australia. Is in US dollars. 1.5 million. Now, initially, the lawsuit was 5 million. But the judge said some of the things, could not be proven. Like for example, Councilor Silva was talking about his client losing lots of contracts and other things that happened to him. But the judge said some of those things could not be proven to an extent. So from 5 million, you're coming down all the way down to 1.5 million plus 100,000 in damages, in consequences or deterrence or whatever. But this is no small amount. Mobile, what do you see here?
Yeah.
Do we still have free speech at work,
Nelson,
or is there a tweak to that?
look, Nelson, we all enjoy free speech, more especially when it comes to politics.
Mhm.
But I think the free speech that we all enjoy should have limit as time. Because character assassination is one of the dangerous things you can do to anybody. Look, let's take for instance, right? What happened in the Fadiga Better case and A.B. Kumar? There was a lot of things said about A.B. Kumar. And even went as far as telling the Liberian people that A.B. Kumar was in cahoots with the just dealers. So you only need to pretend like you're reconnaissance somebody there who can bring information, but that person was there doing his dirty deed. So you look at that type of high-ranking position they gave A.B. Kumar, and you look at the character attached to that. Nelson, it's not a free speech. It's not a free speech. It's damaging a lot, and we know that when they identify when they appointed A.B. Kumar, his first week he was working with our vehicle from the government. He used their own vehicle and arrested people and prosecuted them. He ran beyond just dealer. You understand? So if somebody coming out with that type of allegation, Nelson, it is bad for our country. These days, people just sit on the radio and say what they want to say on people's character, and it go free. It happening. We all talking here, but it happen every blessed day. It happen when we count the amount of people, because they say when you work in government, you are almost like a punching bag. Let people say what they want to say about you because you're in the government now, and you say what you want, and people can say what they want to say about you, but they know how damaging they are damaging your character. They don't know. So within this case, Nelson, I believe that the money may sound much, and according to what you just said, the Fadiga brother never attended for the hearing, and probably they could see that they was not in a position of winning the case, or probably they were not in a position of even going further in the case, because Nelson, if you say something against somebody, you must bring evidence. And I listened to the
But Mobile,
yeah.
you're gonna go to that aspect where you try to say you listen to who, but do you think the offense we're talking about here, or the crime we're talking about here, commensurate with the amount attached thereto, $1.5 million.
Yeah, that's thing. Oh, I think the judge did a ruling today, and based on, according to you, or according to the document, or his lawyer,
Mhm.
he said, well, like 5 million, but because of certain things were not in place, were not certain things he said, and it was not backing with documents. So based on that, they could not go further with that. So meaning the judge did all his calculation and came down to that point. So I would tell you that 100% that it is possible nursing, and I would say yes. But if the question now, if they will pay it, that's the question. But we can discuss that for another day. But when it comes to the character assassination, bro, it is bad. You can just lie or look. I listened to the Fadiga brother on Spoon a lot of times. He said when the time reached, he will provide documents. He will provide evidence. So I believe that in the case, it was in his shoe to provide evidence to the Liberian people.
And that's a very important point
And
there.
yes,
Now
I listened to
I
him.
have to put document before me here. I'm going to read some portions of it.
So
But
yeah.
do you see the possibility of, do you think it has reached that point where they're going to provide the document? Because you're right, and I remember that interaction when they were engaged, and it said we're waiting for the appropriate time. We're going
Yeah,
to provide documents.
yeah.
Do you think, especially with the ruling coming from the civil law court now, they have an option? They could take an appeal. They could go to the Supreme Court. They could go to the higher court. Do you foresee this stage as being that point wherein they're going to come up with those pieces of documents, that, or those information, those substantial to substantiate the claims that they were making against the former DEA
But
boss?
yeah, but that's me. Let's take it from this way, right?
Mhm.
If in our own understanding, if the Fadiga brother have those documents that we're talking about, why they never presented it during the hearing? Why they never go there to argue that case? Why they never go there to say what I was saying on Spoon? I get evidence, I get recording, I got document to prove my claim. But if you wait after the judge finish passing, and then the verdict, and then they say, okay, you know what? We will go to we'll go appeal to the higher court. I think they don't have no documents to back his claim. And if I were him, let him apologize to the big brother, and let bygone be bygone, and appealing to the government to reinstate Mr. Kroma in an identical era, because right now we all know that he's not guilty of all the lies against him. He's not guilty. So end of the day, nursing, we all want Liberia to be better. But when we're saying things some people need, let us say it with facts and document and evidence.
Thank
But
you.
people will just come and say what they want to say, and end of the day, they go on social media. Yeah, the other person do they wanna. But the end of the day, you look at these things. You say, okay, you know what? Let me leave it at free speech. But guess what? You're spoiling somebody's character, and I think we got to desist from that. And when we're talking free speech, when we're discussing free speech, it will be speech that will elevate, that will bring truth to every matter or sense that we talk. Thank you.
Well, it's a kind of long one here, but the document. Let me see if I can put a portion of this one up, and then we do the final round on this particular conversation on it, because this is very important. Um, okay, so this is the first portion here, and it says plaintiff Abraham K. Krumah on February 25 filed an action of damages for libel against one defendant, against first defendant Hassan Fadiga, and a Hussein Fadiga, second defendant. Based on plaintiff Kromah's complaint, a writ of summons along with his complaint was issued out of this court, setting in its March 2025 term of court, commanding first and second defendants, Fadiga, to appear on or before March 17, 2025 at 10 a.m. to answer to the plaintiff Croman's complaint filed against them, and that their future or their failure to appear, judgment by default will be rendered against them, and that defendants were further commanded by this court to file their formal appearance and or answers on or before February 16, 2025. Otherwise, judgment by default will be rendered against them. Unfortunately, when the writ of summons along with the plaintiff's complaint was served on the defendants on February 24, 2025, the service was greeted with defendants' outcry on civilized, cruel, and disrespectful and lawless behavior. According to the sheriff's returns, the defendants told plaintiff Nancy Johnson, who served the writ of summons and complained on the defendant, that Madam Johnson should get out of their faces, and failure on her part, their security officers would have Madam Johnson beaten, and that the defendants stated that they will not appear in this court. I just want to read the final part, the last paragraph here. The first notice of assignment was issued for the trial of the case on April 2, 2025, but same could not be served on the defendants. When the second notice of assignment was issued for trial on April 14, 2025, same was not served on first defendant, Hassan Fadigat, who refused to receive and sign for same. While second defendant, Hussein Fadigat, could not be found in order to be served. During trial on April 14, 2025, plaintiff's counsel moved to court to render judgment by default in accordance with the law. Plaintiff's motion was granted, and he was allowed to prove his case. Now, this is just a portion of what's captured here on the court's document. But in the midst of everything we're talking about, the big question remains whether, let me bring to real. Now, the big question remains whether this is the ruling from the court is in any way encouraging free speech. You know, they are saying that they serve the raid, they serve the summons, they serve the sheriffs, and the first and second defendants told the sheriff to get out of their faces, and if she didn't leave, they would order the security to beat her. The court is saying that even after that, the defendants, the first and second defendants, did not appear in court. Is this something we should take by just what's on this court document? Is this something we should take by faith? But this is the court saying here. But somewhere in the document I was reading, there's a portion there where they mention places and instances where every criminal was being accused. And one of said places was on the show here on Spoon Talk, that he was accused of being in cahoots with drug cartels and all of that. But I want us to have our final round on this conversation just before transitioning. Cindy, let's start with you.
Yeah, Nelson, I think one of the points highlighted in what you just read was something that I discussed initially. The court sent sheriff to the Fadiga to serve them. And according to the document you just read, their response to that to the sheriff was unlawful. So basically, they were just being arrogant. And for the fact that they refused to go to court, Nelson, also speaks volume. Like I said earlier, and I'll repeat myself, this decision from the court to grant A.B. Kroma, a favorable verdict doesn't necessarily speak to anything. I mean, it doesn't really address the accusations against him. And what I mean by that is, if the Fadiga brothers have turned out, or to the court and maybe provided documentation and they comply with the court, maybe they will have had a case, they will have defended their case, and maybe we'll have had different result by now. It is important when you are served by any court that has jurisdiction over your case to respect the court proceedings, follow the process or the processes in place, and just be willing to submit yourself to the court. That could change, that may change the decision, whether in your favor or against you. But we are to respect the orders of the court. Now, this is not hindering free speech. This is not preventing free speech by any means. What this is doing is telling you that what you may consider free speech may not be free speech. Okay? Free speech is not to infringe on other people's rights. Free speech is not to accuse other people of doing things that you may not have proof. And Nelson, we do that a lot. I think Moba said that. We do that a lot. A lot of folks go on public forums, radios, television, especially also in Liberia. We think it's a joke. Nelson, a young man like you, right now working very hard to build your character, to establish platform for yourself, network for yourself, an image for yourself. One day, someone will just disagree with Nelson, go on public radio and say Nelson is a gay, for instance. Everybody start to run with that, right? We saw what happened to Mr. Cummings. We saw it. Nelson.
No. I at least expected that you would turn this whole thing political, Cindy. At least expected that you would turn this whole thing political.
I'm just giving you an example.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The best national example I could give you is a national example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nelson, I have spent all my life educating myself in school. Nights, day in, day out. One day, maybe, my country asked me to go serve in the health ministry, for instance, because that's my expertise. Somebody could just look at me and say, this guy has done this, and they start to just damage your character.
The guy get a fake degree.
He get fake degree. Thank you. He get fake degree.
And I didn't know you.
Now you will have to start providing document, going through the, they do that. Somebody will just get up one day, could just get up one day and just destroy you. So this, what happened now, should really serve as a deterrent to anyone that will want to do this thing. It's one thing to see something happening and point it out. It's another thing to just accuse somebody of doing something wrong without facts.
Thank you, Sandy. And let me come to Ture on this one, and then I will take Soiree next. Ture, Sandy struck a very important point when he said the case or the ruling, the judgment from the Supreme Court is primarily focused on the conduct of the defendants is okay. The ruling seemed to be primarily focused on the conduct of the defendant, the non-compliant postural pull-up, and all of that, and not detailing on the allegations or the issues raised by the defendant. And going through this here, you can clearly see that the defendants, for whatever reason, did not appear in court to say exactly what it is and, to substantiate the claims, which then would mean that there could be possibility, there could be some truism in what they said, but based on the fact that they didn't appear in court, now creates a space where anyone will think that they didn't have the proof. But again, there's an opening here, and the opening is that though there's a ruling from the civil law court, but they could take an appeal, go to the Supreme Court, and possibly that's where the defendants could just open up. I mean, what do you see here, Ture? Let's hear your own analysis of everything that's happening here. As far as free speech is concerned, 1.5 million now against the folks, the defendants, plus extra 100,000, all of that. What's your take?
And Nelson, good evening to you. Good evening to my fellow panelists, our listening audience, wherever you are. So Nelson, this is a precedent case. I think this is good for our democracy, and this is good for the onward march of what the Liberia that we seek to have. And Sandy struck a very important point. You see, character, maligning someone's character, assassinating someone's character on claims, on baseless claims, obviously goes a long way. And I heard A.B. Kromah talking about, how much he has been involved with that area of security in law enforcement in general, actually. To have somebody just come like that and just tarnish that, I think justice was served. And to Sandy's point, obviously, this is not in any way that AB has been sort of like exonerated. The process they're gonna take a tour. The Fadiga brothers, obviously, they're gonna challenge this and have a redress at the Supreme Court. But this is good. This is good for our democracy, if anything. And for those that have sort of like concern about free speech, oh yeah, but you do have free speech, but you also gonna bear the brunt of it if you any way step in somebody or at least engage in distortion, maligning someone's character, disinformation, character assassination. Those are not in any way sort of like protected under quote unquote free speech. If you don't have proof to substantiate Nelson, like you clearly stated, of those claims, then obviously 1 point whatever $1 million was awarded to AB today. That's gonna be something that you know what I mean, like you would you have to come up with. This is good, Nelson, because I have been someone who continuously say that I feel like people go by the wrong way or foolishly just because they have a disagreement with somebody and they just take something and just stick it on you. I will not go as far as Sandy, with Mr. Cummings, because Mr. Cummings, obviously, he made it clear that it's a lifestyle that he struggles with. So I mean, it's that's not here nor there. But since we're talking, and I just wanted to draw that, or at least to bring that to book. It was an interview how with the late Mamadi Diakite, where Mr. Cummings clearly stated that is a lifestyle that he struggled with. But look, like I said, man, this is good. This is good. I mean, I love what is happening in my country right now, Nelson. I love what is happening in my country, the development, the judicial system being sort of like, cleaned up and stuff like that. People getting that right. People getting that time to go to court and have a redress, redress to a redress. This is good. This is good, man. I'm very, very liking what I'm seeing so far.
But what do you think triggered or may have triggered this particular action? Given the portion of the ruling, the judgment from the court that I read, where the court is saying that the sheriff was sent to serve, the notice to the defendants, first and second defendants. And they told the sheriff, get out of here. What's the name of the sheriff in this thing? Nessie Johnson. She went to serve a writ of summons and complaining on the defendants that so the complainant told the defendants to get out of there. Get out of our faces. If you don't get out of here, we'll get our security to beat you up. What do you think? Now, this is the court saying it. This is not somebody trying to accuse somebody or somebody say, and the other person said no. This is the court saying it. And if this happened as per the way the court is saying it, or as per the way the court has mentioned it in her final judgment here, what do you think may have triggered that? Is it the loss of trust, the lack of trust in the court system? Is it that the defendants thought that the court was already compromised and they didn't have the standing to fairly, render justice? Even in that case, what do you think may have triggered that particular reaction or that particular approach from the first and second defendants?
Well, Nelson, is the conglomeration of everything I just stated, right? Probably lack of respect in the system, lack of respect in the judicial system. But even at that, Nelson, you still have to respect, the sheriff. No matter what it is, you can choose not to respect, the system. but trust me, bro, that's a system that going to be used to indict you or to exonerate you. So you still have to respect that. But let me tell you, the problem with the Fadiga brother, for me personally, their attitude, their behavior does not in any way show any sort of inclination of someone who have lived in this part of the world. It is absolutely baffling, right? To know the two gentlemen that claim that they have worked in the correction system in America, you know what I mean? That should have at least given them some level of, basic understanding of judicial proceedings. You know what I'm saying? And to have that done to the sheriff, I mean, you have to be sort of like someone who live in a very stone age time to not understand the repercussion that could actually have on your case. Because you are not only disrespecting the sheriff, but you are disrespecting the authority the authority that actually, proffer that letter to be delivered to you. So there are so many things that you're looking at, and judges don't take that lightly. You cannot disrespect, a system like that. They're going to use that in so many ways against you.
But Toure, if you, and this is where it gets interesting. Just going a bit deeper, if this judgment was rendered based on the conduct of the individuals, the defendants, and not based on the case, and not based on the allegations, and not based on the issues raised, then do you think it was fair?
Well,
Because the whole thing here is to establish the truism in what the party said as to whether party X did what they accused him of. Or okay, so let's say it this way: as to whether Mr. A.B. Krumah did what they accused him of, or as to whether they were lying against him. So if this entire thing, and A.B. Krumah went to court, he wanted to clear his name, and if the goal is to clear his name, don't you think the whole angle of this thing was being diverted to now, okay, you disrespecting us, so we'll deal with you, instead of having it about what's the truth about what you're saying, since in fact they both us on the fight against drugs, national security, and a whole lot.
Well, Nelson, I won't really use the word divert. I mean, obviously motivated in some instance, absolutely, yes. Because one thing I know for a fact, brother, you cannot disrespect the system. I mean, I'm going through a system right now. I'm going through a court case right now, on an accident that I had like literally 3 years ago, and I'll just serve, a sheriff just send me stuff. I came today, I saw it, and I have to go to court, in December. I mean, brother, let me tell you, these people bring these things, you just receive it, sign it, acknowledge that you receive it, and that's it. Call your lawyer. That's what you got to do. You don't have to put that poor lady in a situation where you threatening to beat her up, threatening to call security. That's not how it works. And this is where, this is what are really frustrating me about this, brother. We always say this, Nelson, and I've always said this, right, consistently. The problem of Liberia is not really the people that live in Liberia. It's some of us who come here, enjoy the system, right, understand the in-depth of respecting rules and regulations. Then we'll go back home, instead of exhibiting those characteristics that we have developed up here. But we go there, we want to be so disrespectful to the very system that we on platform whole day trying to promote, trying to add value to. You know what I mean? And this is absolutely bad. How will you threaten, right? Allegedly, because I don't know the in-depth of it, but how will you threaten a sheriff who actually duty is to just go and serve you, whatever it is? They don't even know the in-depth of it. They literally just write letter and give it to them, just go and deliver it. It's like a mailman, right? It's like a mail delivery person now, see, that deliver a letter, right? I mean,
but maybe you're not in a good mood. You said, take that letter from me, and if you get out of my face, I will order my security to beat you. But maybe the parties were not in a good mood that day. The mood was
one thing I know for a fact, brother. At least I don't know about Liberia, but where I live, Nelson, you see policemen, brother. Shoot, everybody know it, bro. They are the most feared people in this country. People can respect policemen more than they can respect president. You know that, Nelson? Oh, okay. Yes. Look, let me tell you, man. Policemen driving behind
just
you.
20 seconds to conclude.
Policemen driving behind you in this country, Nelson. Brother, even if you have all your documents, your insurance, your registration, your sticker, everything correct, bro. Policemen even driving behind you for 30 seconds, my man. Your stomach can like jubu. You know what I'm saying? That's how respectability that it carries. So, any disrespect towards any security apparatus, not even the police, is an affront on the Constitution in itself.
All right. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Sorry. Let's talk about this whole default judgment. Because the other issue here now is that the parties were unable to avail themselves to make their case, to prove that what they were saying is true. Now, remember, they said they had documents, and then there was going to come a time when they would speak out. They were just holding back a little. There's going to come a time when they can speak out. But now having the default judgment at this point, What's your take, Swari? Because the folks could not avail themselves.
So if they could not avail themselves, again, their lawyer was not there to represent them. Is that what we're talking about here? And if
That's
so,
exactly.
I want to believe that, because the ruling you read talk about define, and
And that's just for the clarity.
Mm.
I didn't read the entire judgment or ruling on the show. Is kind of I think 6 or 7 pages. No, about 7, 8. Let's say 7 pages or so. So we don't have the luxury of time to read this entire document. It was just a portion of the document.
A portion,
Yeah.
okay. A portion of the ruling you read, it talk about define, and I want to believe that the Fadiga brothers has always been defined, because from the initial state of the conversation, they always talk about proof that many of us have said it. You always talk about proof and at the appropriate time. So I asked myself while I was speaking, if you cannot provide the proof that you say you have, document, pictorial evidence that has to do with some of the allegations you talk about at this period of time, at what point in time you want to give your proof? When you go to Supreme Court or when you go to the ECOWAS court? So I asked myself that question, and I want to a little bit fundamentally disagree with, because default of judgment is acceptance in our jurisprudence. So I want to disagree with somebody that said, my brother Sandy said, this is not necessarily vindicating A.B. Krumah. Then I want to know at which point in time A.B. should be vindicated, because A.B. could even quote this particular ruling in a feature. If you want to become somebody tomorrow, that somebody may ask A.B. you was quote unquote one time a centerpiece of drugs dealing. How can you respond to that? A.B. can say there was a court ruling to it, and I'll vindicate it. Meaning right there, A.B. is free. A.B. is a free man now, like others. So the argument about A.B. necessary is not vindicated. I don't get it until I get further explanation in regards to law. And if we talk about law is reasoning, right? And somebody want to sit and argue that you got evidence, and the law say come and give your evidence to show that the man is pink, black, or white. You can come, and you even threatening sheriffs that give you order. That came to you. Then I ask myself, when we hear the Fadiga brother talking about they have caliber of character, they serve in all sort of position. Then I ask myself, what sort of education people always have that they brag about?
I'm sorry. This is a default judgment, and that's something we'll continue to underscore.
Right.
Correct.
So what this means is that even with everything the court has written here, there are 7, 8 pages or everything they put together here. Sorry,
Correct.
you're not here when the Fadiga brothers here. They didn't say anything about it yet. So it's possible that the Fadiga brothers could argue this, that the thing the sheriff said that lie, that not true. We not tell us it will beat her, or she should get off her outfit, or we'll send her security to beat her. Though the other question may be, why didn't you appear? Why didn't you receive your copy of the summons and sign it? And all of that. But these are things that, they could have another version of the story to us. This is default judgment. I say, I'm not coming to your house. You say, oh, you're not coming. So the person that brought your complaint, and I, who the judge, 2 hours sit down and decide your fate. So that ASO.
Granted.
Yeah, just conclude on that point, and then we can
and granted and acknowledge it. And they could even turn an session to the Supreme Court. So but looking at the magnitude of some of the things the brother was saying, and what they told you and myself, that they have all of the evidence. You cannot go in front of the civil law court to present your evidence and even threatening how they call it sheriffs. Then where we stand to believe you moving forward. That's my argument up to now. If
Thank
you
you.
cannot come in front of the first court to give your document, your said document that you said the person was into this, the person was into that, you cannot give the evidence. Then where you stand? And you even threatening judges. Sometimes they will say in a common librarian too, is a scary man always put on certain behavior that show that he has nothing to offer. That is why the Fadiga brother are actually carrying on. I'm coming to that conclusion. So if people will always come out to say things just because you want to say it, because you have that platform, and like I was talking about education, if your education cannot reform you as certain as things, and looking at the places that you've been, the Fadiga brothers in these great in the United States, you leave from here, you go back home, you cannot exemplify certain behavior for people to see you as a role model. They don't know what you stand to benefit
Okay.
society.
You know,
And that has always been the trend in our society.
Sorry. I don't want us to use this particular case to bring another court to form that will render a guilty verdict on the Fadiga brothers. I want us to say it, just present it as it is, and then just move on. Because at the end of the day, if we have a situation where the both parties were present, represented by the legal persons, made their case, and all of that, that's a whole different one. But yeah, let's take more back quickly on this one. Yeah, Cindy, I know you want to take a few seconds. We
Yeah,
we're gonna come to you next.
yeah. Thank you, Nelson. Look, I think the Fadiga brother they respected the court. If what you're reading is true, because there's no way in the world a letter and you threaten the sheriff that I will beat you if you get out of my door or if you get out of my sight. I think it is wrong on that part. And we all know, and where, according to them, where they get all their education from, like kind of law enforcement in the United States, they don't work like that. If you hear, if the sheriff issue you a letter, you honor the letter. You honor it. You give it respect to it. But you can't threaten the sheriff, and then because there are certain behavior when people move from the exhibit in our country, and it just goes scot-free. Because we think or we feel that we always above certain things, and it is wrong. Now, see, let me say this, right? You see, yeah, I can never drink or eat something I put on the street. Now, the see behavior in me when I go Liberia. I don't take minimum bottle in my hand and drink it and tongue it on the street. I can't do it. It will be in my hand. I love a trash can to put it there because that the positive side, let's say you learn it and when you learn it, you carry it, then you implement it. So the Fadiga brother, they serve to all the play, all the law enforcement agency or whatsoever they work. I expect them to know the law. I expect them to go over there and defeat the former DA boss, Mr. Kuma. But they just showed to all the things they were talking. It was it was Vlad.
But does their absence, does that stay away in any way render them guilty?
Nestle, let me say this, right?
Should we be trying to establish why they stay away in the first place?
Nestle, if you having evidence, no play the best way to carry beside the court. Nowhere you can carry beside the court. And the court now will look at your evidence based on what you said before, because he said a lot of things. So all these things, and he admitted to it that he having evidence in your possession, he having recording, he having document to attest to his claim. So if you refusing to go to the court and present those documents, in any other day, what you expect how you expect for the ruling to be against you? So,
Thank you.
for all indication nursing, I think the father got better. All they need to do, nothing is big. No one is big by that friend. Let them go to Mr. Kumar. Let them apologize. Next time I come in, let me say my
But
money.
Mama, if you're talking about apology, no, I already understand the one you want to
No,
talk.
but let
If
me
you're
tell you,
talking
my man,
about
you can't call me
apology,
all that out.
what are you trying to say now, Mama? Is they
Nelson,
should forget all that's happened in court. They should forget everything they said. They should forget about
in
providing the
life,
evidence. They should rather go back. Is that what you're saying?
not beg that my man. What you talk about? I beg you, did it? No.
Yeah,
The
no,
going
because
like
if you say
Nelson
they
is
should
an
go
apology,
back,
right?
then what you are saying is that they should trash the evidence they say they got. Those
Nelson, they have
sensitive.
Nelson, you see, you the one that pushing the evidence here, right?
Nobody said they have evidence.
Listen now, the process was given to them to present those evidence in court, and they never attend. The recording we're talking about, the recording they said on Spoon Talk, the document, right? All we're saying is that let that bargain be bargain. They shouldn't go and because look, Nelson, I cannot come here and say something against you in a day. We go to court and I appear, but no, I get the evidence. I don't have it. So if based on that, yeah, let me conclude. Based on that, they can go to that means that big brother. They can go there and talk to him and say, you know what, let back on be back on. All we are one Liberian. Let all iron things. It's not too big for him. But end of the day, they want are big and pump up. But look, nothing from all indication, I think within the case they are wrong. They are wrong.
So Maba, let me ask you the final question. We give Cindy 30 seconds and then we transition to the John Balud and the Maba Molu saga. But Maba, you had a case in court. You won the case. 1.5 million US dollars and 100,000. Then then the person come to you and say, "My man, I beg you, that forget that back on be back on." Maba, do you think this is something that Mr. A.B. Kumar is just going to accept that the Fadiga brothers, after everything that happened, they will go back to even after a court's ruling and say that back on be back on and then they accept it?
Nelson, nothing is so or too hard or big for anybody. The whole thing here is that Mr. Kumar already showed to the world that he had nothing to hide. He did nothing wrong. So when the court already ruled in his favor, right? And then the father got better. But look, Nelson, it's not big to tell somebody say, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Let's forget about what happened and then move on. It's not big. And people take it to be like, it's a big deal, but I'm
Sandy, you want to take a few seconds quickly so we transition?
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe I have, I've said it wrong, that maybe is not vindicated. I mean, obviously, you have the ruling from the court, so we can argue that it's in his favor, and therefore that he's vindicated. Now, my point is that that it's possible that there may have been a different ruling if the Fadiga brother has shown up in court. There may have been a different ruling if the Fadiga brother had complied with court. So my point here is that, like you said, Nelson, this ruling is, a default ruling. I and Suare have a problem. Suare didn't show up to court. Well, I'm automatically the winner. Those things happen to a lot of our brothers in this country. And I mean, this is a totally different thing, but I'm giving free advice to them tonight. A lot of our brothers are put on child support in the country because they don't show up. Right? They have issue with a girlfriend and the baby mamas, and the lady go to court and the brothers won't show up. And now for your lifetime, you got to pay maybe, $1,000, $2,000 every freaking paycheck. That's the default rulings. If you don't show up, the other party wins. And this thing of, do you know who I am? Do you know me? That kind of thing, we need to stop it. That mentality, we need to stop it. They send sheriff to your house, and now get out of here. I'll ask my security to beat you or to do this. Like, who are you? You know, are you above the law? Especially, man, Nelson, if you have spent a lot of your time in these United States, will you tell any sheriff that? Will you tell the police officer that in this country? I mean, see, that's our problem, Nelson. Nelson, we from the diaspora are some of the biggest problem to our country. Nelson, in this country, let me tell you, we can't drink bottled water with you on the street here. Yeah? We can't argue with police officer here. We can't chew gum and put on the street here. Nelson, but when we enter Liberia, we want to do that. Like, what's wrong with us? You enter Liberia, you want to argue with police officer. You want to challenge the court. Like, what's wrong with our mentality? We're not supposed to be civil lives, educated, experienced, travel. Then we go to our own country, we put that down. Everything we have learned here is that you come from prison. You know, that's how most of our people can call it. You leave America, you go to Liberia, say, oh, I just came from big prison. Now I have freedom. But that freedom does not mean you should disrespect your country, disrespect authority. And this is not against the Fadiga brother. I don't want them to sue me. I'm not accusing them. It's just a message across, the board to everybody. We can't leave from here with everything we go through here. You see police, you shaking here. Then you go to your country, you start to disrespect police. So again, Suarez, the brother is vindicated. But it could have been different. I mean, he still could have won a case. But I am assuming that if the Fadiga brother has shown up to the court, we may have been saying something different here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Thanks a lot. I want us to transition now to this. Now, a lot of you are aware that the former chairman of the CDC, Moba Molu, made a pronouncement about protestation. He resigned from the CDC, founded a civil rights organization called STAND, and STAND then decided to get involved with the activities in the country. STAND started to collaborate with several groupings across the country. And one of those groups happens to be the Motorcyclists Union. And a lot of you are aware that STAND, when the police rolled out the restriction for motorcyclists, became one of those groups that was at the forefront. Moba Molu has been championing the cause for the people to stand up, raise their voices, bring their leaders to check. Though he resigned from the CDC, and he stated in a very long resignation letter that he needed to do some other things and blah, blah, blah. But this is where we are. Mr. Molu, after working with the motorcyclists, went to court to get the court to place a prohibition or stop the government, the police from removing the motorcyclists. He didn't get it. The court trashed the request. They came out and released a strong statement against the judge. And now they decided to stage a protest. So the protest is now been scheduled for, what's the date? I'm going to get the date right. July 17th. So they are calling it the Enough is Enough nationwide protest. And they're saying that the protest will be launched by we the people. We the people. And this is what triggered the entire thing here. Because then you had this man, the former Senator John Balut. Now, most of you know that Senator Balut was one of those persons in the middle of this whole thing with respect to what the Liberian people wanted. Mr. Cummings, Senator Balut was literally begging Mr. Cummings to go as running mate to the current president. And Cummings, and sorry, not Cummings, but Cindy, our dear brother here, Anthony, and the rest of the guys said to Mr. Cummings, no, nobody should convince you to go as vice. But this Honorable Balu, former Senator Balu, was one of those persons at the forefront. Now, following the pronouncement by Stand, then they pull up this particular statement. And not just this one, but there's a whole article in incorporation that came with this particular one, which we might pull up. So, immediate release. And let me just read what the captured here in the statement. It said, official statement from the Executive Committee of We the People. It has come to our attention that it has come to the attention of the Executive Committee of the We the People that Mr. Morba Molu, the chairperson of STEN, is organizing a protest under our name, We the People. We wish to make this unequivocally clear that We the People is not affiliated with the planning, coordinating, or promotion of this protest. While we respect the democratic rights of all citizens and organizers to peacefully assemble and express their views, we must firmly address the unauthorized use of our name, We the People. We call on Mr. Molu to immediately refrain from using the name We the People in any communication or mobilization related to this event. We encourage him to proceed under the banner of his own organization, platform, STAND, which is understood to be leading the initiative. We the People remains an independent body with its own identity and agenda. Any future position or action taken by our organization will be communicated directly through our official channels. And then the final one says the public is hereby cautioned to not to engage in any business, coordination, or collaboration with Mr. Morba Molu under the banner of We the People. Any such representations are unauthorized and misleading. So now John Balu posted this one, and it came from there, We the People. That's the organization. But then I became a bit curious, and a lot of people wanted to know what is the legal ground. Where is he standing when he say, "Oh, the people using our name, they shouldn't use our name. We the people, is not associated with this protest." What was his reliance? Where did he come from? What legal authority does he have to make the claims that he was making? To claim We the People. And then I came across this. Let me see if I can pull this one up. Quickly. Let me see if I can get this one up. And then I went online and came across the We the People article of incorporation, business registration, and all these different things about We the People. So this is the article of incorporation. Some of the pages there, you see at the end, the business registration. And if you go back to this article of incorporation, you notice that when was We the People established? The last document I saw, December 8, 2023. Liberia Registry. This is when they established We the People. So I want to understand, is this by mistake that Mr. Moba Molu is organizing the protest under the banner We the People? Is it even necessary for the We the People, people? I'm trying to understand. Is it necessary for We the people to come up to say that their protest are organizing, we're not part of it? and the other use our we the people. How can we the people belong to an organization? Because me, Toure, Soiree, Cindy, Moba, we are we. We are we the people of Liberia. How can we the people belong to a particular group of people? But Honorable John Balu is saying that they we the people here, that are we the people. Moba Molu, if you want to organize your July 17 protest, don't put it under the banner we the people, because I want to believe that Chokone knew about the we the people thing, and all of those different aspects of it. But this is where we are. Chokone, welcome to the show, and let's hear your thoughts on this one. Let's start with you, Cindy, and then we're gonna go around the table on this one.
Well, Nelson, first, let me clearly say that protest under our laws, we all know it's legal. There's nothing wrong with having an organized protest to bring your government or to petition your government. But I agree with the folks from quote unquote we the people, the group, that is saying, look, if you are going to protest, do not use the name of our organization, do not use our logo, do not use our intellectual property. Now, Mobile Model has an organization. He could use the name of his organization. The protest could be on his organization, and he will still draw people to the protest. But to use another organization without their approval, that's stealing someone's intellectual property. And that is not okay. So, I mean, it's good that the group is distancing themselves from this protest. If he meant well, if he wanted the group to be part of this protest, then he should have consulted them. Now, let us also argue now that, okay, maybe this is not this particular group. But Nelson, if an organization already carries the name We the People, and now you come up and say, look, I'm doing a protest on We the People, well, you got to provide us some trademark, right? You got to provide us that the name of the organization, the registration information. You must provide that. We cannot have, we may have two different organizations with the same name, but they can carry the same logo. There must be some level, there must be some distinction, right? So I think the best thing Mobile Model Club done or should do is to utilize STAN, which is his organization. STAN is very new and it's vibrant. People are, receptive to some of the messages from STAN. So why not utilize STAN? Well, I don't think protest in itself is a bad thing. I disagree with him, with Mobile Molu, on the issue of the motorbike issue, where the government is saying that, motorbike cannot access certain parts of Morovia, and he wanted to protest, and that did not yield anything. So I disagree with that. But if you have some other issues with the government, or perhaps you believe that the government is not doing certain things right, well, he can protest, but use your own organization instead of using another person's organization, especially if you have not consulted those folks. That's all I can say today. Hopefully the IRA out. Hopefully he utilizes his own organization and carry on the protest peacefully.
Thank you, Sandy. Sorry, you want to come in?
Yeah, thank you, Nazi. I think, like Sandy said, we the people. Honestly, I just guys don't know that we got an organization called We the People. But you never know until some of these things come up, With all what you show, I think Mr. John Mulu, am I calling the name right? The former ambassador is right because by law,
Balut, not
Balu,
Mulu.
yeah. If one has a legal document to show that yes, I register my organization, blah blah name, you cannot use that name um, to protest or to carry on certain things without my consultation. I mean, is a violation to that particular organization. So I think it's right. Like Cindy talk about STEM. Where is STEM? I know STEM to be an independent organization. So you can carry on the particular protest if you do not have any motive. I mean, motive that it is also derating our peace or bringing things to Liberia that we do not want. Protest is a very good thing. I think he could use them or use another name um, that is more profound. But sometimes people use name too and not make research. So at the end of the day, before you got to know that this names is actually, you know, attached to an organization. I mean, it usually happens even in the advocacy group. You see people using organization name, but at the point in time before they got to know that organization has another, has already been established with a name, it's late for them. Then they have to come back on that drawing board. I think they have to come back on that drawing board if what all is showing it is actually, I mean, truth about their registration or all those business things. They have to use another name because it's illegal to use another person name.
Dure?
Yeah, Nelson, look, man. Sandy obviously got to it before I could, but I'm just gonna, piggyback off of what Sandy I've already stated. So basically, this was very, very much calculated by Moba Molu. Calculated in a way that he tried to draw from the fan base of the We the People. We know We the People stage, very popular protest in Liberia. That record is there. And what a better way to draw into that pool of that number, obviously. But look, like I said, politician does not do anything for no reason. You know very well by combining We the People and Stan, I could obviously double the number if you will, but like Sandy stated, once you have a name right, register, you can't use that. It will be absolutely foolish of you to do that. The good news is nobody even sue somebody on this. People sue people on this, Nelson. Like if I go right now and just use your name, Nelson, Nelson Business Incorporated. Even if your name is Nelson, but you can't use that Nelson. You know what I'm saying? That's how tricky these things can be. I mean, anyone who claim it, that's it. So this is somebody who's trying to, We the People trying to distance themselves from this protest, because they know this protest lack it lacks substance. It's not merit based. It's something that is motivated by just ill will. And We the People is trying to distance herself from it. It's not we don't endorse this, and we certainly does not, they did not like the fact that you're trying to like bring us into this. This is not our position. And if we decide to take any position, We the People as an institution, we make that decision at our timing and our will. This is not something that you will have to like just force on us. So they are trying to distance themselves from this by running far away from it, that this is not something we want to be associated with. And they're also calling on their supporters and people that subscribe to the ideology of we the people, that this should not be anything that you people should support. There should not be of a protest that you people should be associated with. And that's what any noble institution would do. Because when we the people now come out and make this strong position and make this position unequivocally clear, guess what? If the protest should go on, it'll go on with the likeness, image, and popularity of we the people. So it will be a full endorsement of the position of we the people. So that's why I make this so very, very important that we the people came out swiftly to distance themselves from this ill-intentioned protest. Thank you.
Mobile, you want to come in, and this is very important, because if you go back to why the folks want to protest, Mobile, just before you come in, they outlined a few of the many reasons why. They said the growing tyranny of the administration, authoritarian rule, systemic corruption to enrich all levels of government official, the crushing economic hardship, the national financial situation we have in the country, the decaying and dysfunctional healthcare system. That's part of the reason why they want to protest. Exploding unemployment and deepening joblessness in the country. They want to protest because the government is not providing job. Alarming rise in poverty and hunger across communities. This is part of the reason why this is one of the reasons why the group wants to protest. Rampant police brutality, they say, is one of the reasons. Mysterious disappearances of vulnerable Liberians without accountability is one of the reasons why they want to protest. Daily abuse and extortion of, so I mean, these are reasons why the folks say they want to protest on the 17th. But Mobile, let's hear you on this one.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. Look, I think John A. Balu Jr. was right for sending a memo or a letter. Look, you can't be in an organization and you just take action within the organization without some of the members, more especially when it comes to the executive. I think it is wrong. So now we all preaching politics. We all saying that everybody must respect the rule of law. But Mobile Model cannot respect organization rule of law. Where in the world that you had an organization, but you come up with a statement that some of the executive know nothing about, but you push the organization name that you won't be part of protest. We agree. Granted, everybody, your right to protest, your right to get on the street, your right to petition your government to do the right thing. If you think that some of the things that you listed is not going properly within the government, put your people on the street to protest. That's their right. But do not use organization name, which of course you alone have that organization. You get whole executive. Like our reading.
But Mobile. The thing here is that the group that is saying that they're not aware of the protest is a whole different group.
I know, but the part of the people, what the organization is that we the people, the part of we the people. But stand is for Molu. So Molu never use stand to say my own group, because he he here for that group, and he alone holds that organization. So he can probably he can use that instead of him using organization where everybody included, and he never consult them. He just came out to say we the people, we invite blah 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 on so day for protest and all that stuff. So Mr. Balu was so smart to distance himself and to make sure that we the people organizations are part of this protest. We don't know nothing about the protest. But guess what? We are not denying you guys from your protest. It is your right to do your protest. But going on that banner with our consent, I think it is wrong. When we're talking about rule of law, when we're talking about people obeying rule of law, so now mobile Malone doing things when are in the confines of their own organization, and then they want to talk about rule of law in the country. Look, he will preach equity, you come with clean hands, right? So you running a dictatorship in an organization now. That should be the question. Let us be serious here. If we want to come here and be discussing issues that pertain to our country, let us come here with facts. Let us come here and say things that we ourselves not doing, so that when we talking, that people respect us. But I can't come here and say that shall not steal, but I still stealing. In my own heart, stealing. Then I go to the public and say that shall not steal. Why am I preaching equity? That's what happened to Malu. You in your organization, you run your organization like a dictator, like a tyrant, but you want to petition government to run a government under the rule of law, which of course is happening. It is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I think Mr. Balu, John A. Balu Jr. was right to come up with that statement and distance himself and the organization from that so-called protest that they're about to take. That about to take place on July when or June when. I don't even know.
Thank you. Well, guys, yeah, quickly, Turi.
Just more bomber. Why will you steal? Why will you steal your own horse?
No, impossible now. Ain't in your home with your family, you steal and they ask you say dead and you say, oh, but I know who did it. You can steal your own. What are you talking?
All right, I just
but you know.
So guys, let's take 1 minute to do our closing. Sorry to our audience, we're unable to take calls tonight. We can just do 1 minute each to just close up. Yeah, maybe you want to go to Ray, and then we just go by the queue.
And that's thank you so very much, brother. Thank you very much, man. Look, I'm gonna use my 1 minute to really send out a shout out to Mr. Mohammed Sharif, LEC, acting managing director. You know, Nelson, when we talk about putting people in the right position, thank you so very much. Wow. Look, when we talk about putting people in the right direction, Labrador does not lack technocrat. Labrador lacks the willingness of government, of people in power to look for the people and put them in position where they have spent their lifetime researching and perfecting. So you see, success does not come by coincidence. Like you see our brother Sandy. I'm pretty sure every time we're on this platform, people sometimes don't get fooled by Sandy constant head bending and something like that. That brother be doing his 30-page research paper while at the same time contributing to this platform. You know what I'm saying? So it is not, I know what Sandy be up to, but a lot of you just feel like, oh, the man, you on your cell phone. No, that's not what it is. Sandy be doing work. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it takes. And Mele Sandy, after going through all the rigor of intensive commitment to perfecting his craft, bro, Sandy winning in his career is not going to be a coincidence. It's not going to be a magic. It's not going to be by luck. It's a years, months, intensive research trying to perfect his craft. So that's what we're seeing right now at LEC. I'm telling you, Nelson, if you put the right people in their right position, success is guaranteed. So I'm just trying to send now that shout out to Bro Sharif, man. We know what you did when you were managing director for the, LSSG line, Ivory Coast, Guinea, all that stuff. We know what you did there. 10 years that brother served that position. 10 years. Do you know what it takes to serve that kind of position for 10 years? So Labro got it right. President Joseph Numa Baka got it right. And LEC right now, we don't know what's going to happen, but as for right now, Labro are very, very delighted about this appointment. Thank you very much, Nelson.
Sorry, you want to close quickly?
And jokingly, somebody said we talk about current, and we didn't actually talk about the kind of a stable current. That's Liberia for us. Sometimes people joke with this thing, but I think it was a great conversation. We talk about the issue about AB Kruma and winning his case and further advising young people or Liberian in general to actually be responsible as to what you say out there. Not everybody in the local Liberian too, not everybody will take you. There are other people that will go further by seeking redress by the legal means. I think it was a good conversation. Everybody can protest. It should just be in conformity with our laws and with good motive for our country. Protest is part of strengthening our democracy. And thank you, Nelson, for always holding the ground. Thanks to all those in the comment section, everyone that somehow, some way, listening and right by contributing towards the platform. I think it's a good thing always to be here.
Thank you. Sandy, you want to close?
Well, it was another good show. I think lesson learned from this AB Chroma case. For me, the lesson learned and the takeaway from that case is do not underestimate the power of the court, and do not take laws into your own hand. Do not try to abuse the justice system because of your position or your name or your affiliation. Respect the court. Show up to court. Present your evidence. And allow the evidence in the court and the judge in the court to make the decision afterward. But it was a great show, Nelson. Liberia is all we have, and together, our sacrifices will make our country the place that we all desire to see. None of us here wishes to live here forever. If you ask, 10 Liberians on the street here in the diaspora, where do you want to live? I can assure you that at least 7 out of 10 will tell you they want to move back home. But we all can contribute to that back home that we desire to see. Whether we are on these platforms speaking, asking our government to do the right thing, or we are contributing financially and starting businesses back home. At the end of the day, no matter which political parties we belong to, we all belong to one big political party. And that political party is the Republic of Liberia. Thank you, Nelson, for your sacrifices. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. And Mbaba?
Yeah. It was a great show. Thank you to my fellow panelists and thank you to our many listeners. My closing will be different. I don't want to make some comparison when it comes to my closing tonight. Last year, the last regime, George Weah regime, hour like this, people were jumping over fence for rice. We see lines. Liberians, honor my voice to now. Those who on radio land, Facebook, YouTube, watching me. If I lie, tell me say I lie. Regime, time like this, there was no gas in the entire country. They went settling for gas. It went off for close to a month. People were jumping from fence to get rice because there was no rice in the country. But today, you got rice, you got gas. And guess what? Your country that everybody they want this. Look, all the opposition want to do, they want to destroy that country. If you look at the amount of work that's going on in Maserati, the amount of development in the net, you can walk freely. You get place where 24 hours, you get quarantine. Look at ELW Junction. People be over there at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. The place is clear. You got lights. You got road construction going on. You got the president just went to dedicate. He went to tell an assessment on a portrait farm, or company that will be producing chicken, because we Liberian, we don't know how the people are processing their chicken. We don't know what they're putting in it. But when it process in Liberia will be safe for every consumer. So these things happening, let us come here and elevate the talk. Let us come here and highlight this development. Look at Corey and my brother Teresa. Look at the running water. More agitation. All the poems, say 1847. The poem, all the poems now you see a brand new poem going under the ground. We don't know how many years they're going to stay there for, decade upon decade. But we'll come here and criticize the government on things that we all know is happening in the interest of the Liberian people. Let us agree. Let me conclude. Let us agree that every development is not just come with sugar and milk or honey. Every country that focusing or doing development, it comes with a little bit of difficult time. You will find out that rest rate will go up. You will find out that things a little bit will go up. But guess what? What you put your president there for, he doing it. Your roads, look at Kakatan Road. That road, Benesen, 1847. Now the president putting quota there. We can name names of all the developments. But we'll come here and say the president not doing nothing. Like my brother Cindy, County Road, the whole southeast. Now the road, the construction is ongoing. It's ongoing. Then we'll come here and say the government doing nothing. We want to protest. Why you want to protest for rule of law? Why you want to back arrest? Doing job we are regime there are no rent in the country, but they regime rest in the country. Doing job there are no gasoline in the regime. You get gasoline, you go there, you buy a gas. You got to stay online. You got to go and sleep to gas station before you get gas. You got to go be jumping over fair to buy rice. When we come here, we speak with facts. When we make comparison, people come here and say, oh, they regime. When it comes to rule of law, they're not abiding by it. But when you hit them, they will tell you, say, because any position, because the court say ultra-viral, blah, 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 all the one. But end of the day, the president made his statement. It was very clear and very, very easy for everybody to understand. It can be the minority, the majority. That's his stand. As long as you get a number, he work with you. So there's nothing bad in it. But we will come here and discuss these issues. But end of the day, we all here will get one place to live, one place to go is Liberia. If we pray for chaos, like our brother from the other side, every day on the radio they're preaching chaos, they're preaching disasters in the country, I think it is wrong. We all need to get together, develop our country, and pray that things work out. But we shouldn't come every day. We want the country to be branded out. We want people to be on the street. We want to stop people movement. We want to do the one. And then end of the day, we say we love Liberia. But everybody won't go do their own thing to get their own money, their own benefit. Not for Liberia. They were just saying what they did. They enriched themselves. That's it. Thank you, Nelson.
Okay, I think I'm the next person. Let me start by speaking to the importance of protest in any democracy. I think it was either my brother Soiree or Jala who briefly spoke to it. For the simple fact that our people are not going to the bush, but they are rather using the legal means to petition their lawmakers, their president. That is something that we should all support, and that is a welcoming development. Like somebody talked about some of the progress that the judiciary system is making, where people are challenging different issues in the court and they are getting redress. That is the same thing as people going on the street to protest, to petition their lawmakers and those who represent them in government. So there's no reason why, for whatsoever reason, regardless of your political background, affiliation, or what have you, that anyone should oppose to people protesting. If the question is the protest should be held without any form of violence, that is what we call for. That is what we support. Anything on the contrary, we do not support that. We have been agitating and advocating for us to have a protest that will try to inform the Liberian government that we, the people of Liberia, we are unhappy with the government violating statutes and laws that we have on the book. We are trying to remind the government to do what is right. And that is what people do in the civilized world. That is what people do in the civilized democracy. That is what we advocated for years ago. So that should not be something that anyone should criticize. But I also listened to the Lander senator. He said that the usage of "we the people" was unacceptable. I think he slipped a little bit. Senator Balu is one person who I respect and I hold him in high esteem. I think that was a little slip. The first thing is the name "we the people." Yeah, the name "we the people" have not been copyrighted in Liberia. That's number one. Just to inform you, you can be a comedian, you can be a musician, and you can talk in a certain way that everybody identify you to be that comedian in that specific category. In as much it is not registered on our law, anyone is allowed to use that way of talking, that way of writing, that logo, that brand, or what have you. So they should do what is right. If that is copyright and already linked to them, then they will be the only one allowed to use "we the people" in such a form or manner. But the way in which Chairman Molu used it, he wasn't trying to to identify our protest to that of that irrelevant and unpopular institution. Why we would want to be linked to that institution? That institution doesn't have any political capital. So if we are looking for an institution that have political capital or that will provide us some dividend, we will have used a different institution rather than the quote unquote "we the people" that doesn't have any political dividend. I hope we are not forgetting that Senator Balu was massively whipped in his county by a young man, and he's probably still recovering from that defeat. So there's no political capital. I think he's the political leader of that institution. He could not even get 30% of the vote in his own county. So I think as a responsible statement, what he should have done was to probably come to the public, disassociate himself from the protest. That would have been really, really fun. But from the way that he's speaking, it shows that his statement has some political tone. And some of those political engagement, I'm not too sure if it is good for older people. Because when older people start to behave in such a manner and form, it compels other people to addressing you and speaking to you in a way such that you're gonna feel uncomfortable. So I will also recommend to the former senator that he should desist from all of those kind of political engagement. If there's anything he's wanting from the government, he can definitely reach out to them. But to use our protest, the protest that is being organized by the ordinary Liberian people, as a political shield or as a political canopy that he's going to use to try to gain attention in the eyes of those who are in leadership, I think that is unfortunate for a former senator. And I'm just going to conclude on this one point. I know others have to talk, but the point I'm going to conclude on is the quality of decision that we make as a people. It determines who we are. These are the people that we have been electing in leadership. We complain that we elected people into the Senate, into the lower house, and they are not delivering the needed goods. But when we go back to election, we're going to see, for example, you're going to see Toure, you're going to see Soiree, who have everything that you look for in a lawmaker, but you're going to vote for somebody only because they share rights in the community, they distribute money, and what have you, leaving out those who should be the actual representation of our people. So if you look at the current configuration of this government, I can safely predict that this government is not going to be able to do anything tangible that Liberian people are yearning to see. That is because who are those that we have in the first branch of government? I'm not excluding my party from them. Who are those we have in the first branch of government? We should have people with specific expertise where, for example, if they are discussing health issue, maybe the lawmaker from Bon County, based on his expertise in healthcare or healthcare management or what have you, he will be able to provide direction for the entire house and probably ensure that the guys who are going to be voting, they are going to be relying on his expertise and his past experience to make sure that they are providing the best policy direction or prescription that will benefit the people of our country. But look at my district, look at my party, look at the Unity Party representative, look at all of the representatives we have. I'm not taking the CDC out of it. We are all equally guilty. That is the reason why we, the young people, we need to ensure that within our political institution, we should try to take the front row. The front row meaning no, just to conclude, I'm so sorry, I don't have delay. But taking a full role meaning we should try to advocate for some of those reform. I know that we will all be defending our different political side, but it is logical for us to start particularizing what is good for Liberia so that in our generation, it wouldn't be too difficult for us to do it. Because if I'm in the CDC right now and I know something that is bad, I cannot see it in our internal meeting. How will I change it if we take over national leadership tomorrow? But let me stop here for now, and I want to appreciate everyone for their contribution to the show tonight. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.
But Trogon, you use the front row. The nursing point in the
Doesn't put a man to live. But man, what difference is coming to all this?
Guys, I think it's been a great show. It's been a great show. Princess, thank you for coming. Princess, thank you for coming.
Allow me to close. I was listening briefly, but I was driving.
What did you open before you
What
I just want to close. Mobile, not your business. Let me just close.
What did you open before you close?
You are not moderator, Mobile. You are not moderator.
I'm in chat right now. What you open before you close? That's my question. What you open?
You don't need to worry about that. I just want the moderator to give me the opportunity.
To do what? To do what?
To close.
Francis are looking and come from sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping. I'm just tired. I actually went to my friend's place.
My friend
No.
Mobile, 2 minutes, no more time. We have to go.
Nelson, don't do that. Nelson, don't do that before I go to bunk and they on you.
To go do what you want to
you make you be quiet.
Oh, I'm getting for you. I'm be quiet. Okay.
Okay,
no,
please.
You're not
please do
for me, goofy.
Please do your closing quickly.
All right, gentlemen, we don't have any few minutes tonight, right? I was listening to the show briefly. I didn't know Nelson was coming on anyway. That's my fault. But I just want to say thank you plenty. Especially, I wanted to say something on the show tonight to make it with my opening, but I'll make it with my closing. I think so far so good. President Barker, maybe other people could be around the corner, but so far so good. The appointments, I think right now I can select 2 people that are doing all right. That would be Mo Ali and our big brother who just got acting appointment. I know his Senate confirmation will be fine. And, I listened to him today on OKFM. I read it wake up early. That's what getting me tired. I wake up around about 4 o'clock local time. Yeah. I listen to OKFM. I listen to the entire interview. I think Mr. Mohammed Sharif will do better at the level of LEC. LEC have been lingering around since the end of the war, almost 21 years. And like we always tell people, leadership in Liberia is not so hard. It's not that it's super difficult, but we have not had the right leaders to be able to do better. So I just wanted to add my piece. I'm late tonight. I'm not going to hold anything too long. But I think Mo is trying with that water and sewer, with those BB pipes, opening new grounds, dumping it there to get water to the people in the meter, and they're doing hemp on. That's okay. We are getting there. But I also hate the idea that Mobile would just come here and just open it. Wow, I hate to say he really doing something significant. That we should be PRO for the government. No, we're not going to be PRO, Mobile. You're wasting your time.
I have to remind you when you lie.
No, we're not lying.
Okay, I'm a PR for the government.
No. You close. Be quiet. Yeah, I'm not attacking you. I'm only telling you. Yeah, you take on nothing. I beg you, nothing. Don't fight with me. I'll let come on. I agree. What we saying here, Mobile, that country for all, we agree. But you know the reason why Joe Barker is trying now is because we're talking. If you say you don't want protest, then do better. Don't be part of democracy. Go live in Abraham Traore country. Burkina Faso, no protest there. When Samuel Kayando was there as president, suspended the constitution, there were no protests in Liberia. But democratic principles, protest is part of it. Criticism is part of it. Just agreeing with the ruling party is part of it, Mobile. Don't stretch yourself, brother.
But who said the protest?
And you want us to be PRO for the government need to pay us. Then we'll make it fair.
Okay.
Because government got 3 solid institutions. to do their PRO for them. The Press Secretary Office, Information
Thank you,
Ministry,
Francis.
and RBS. So you just sit down
Francis,
and relax. We'll talk our talk. We'll tell Uncle Joe to do better, and he
Francis, thank you.
start doing better a little bit. So
I'm
Nelson,
talking the way
thank
I
you for
see
giving
it.
me time to close, even though I didn't open.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much
man,
for
that boy
the
was getting
input.
on my nerves.
I want to appreciate everyone. It's been a great show.
Everything,
Thank
I
you,
nearly
everything
Francis,
fight my
Johnny.
car to talk.
to Ray, Bila Soiree. We appreciate you as well. Mr. Jedau, SB Cindy.
Nelson, you there? Yes. They never give me
I think gone.
My man, look, let me say this.
I just wanted to mobile 1 minute, please. I just wanted to read the Liberia Property Intellectual Act that's talking about copyright of 2016.
So,
the
guys,
age
I think my internet is back. I want to say thanks to everyone. It's been a great show. We look forward to being here tomorrow. Until then, have a good night. Thanks to everyone, and y'all can thanks to our